It started small. Amanda joined a yoga class to get her energy back. She met a group of women there, all single or divorced, all obsessed with staying young. They talked about freedom, parties, and living without rules. Soon, Thursday nights became ladies' nights. Then Fridays. Then weekend brunches that stretched until evening. She said it helped her reconnect with herself. I said nothing at first. I wanted her to have friends. Raising 2 kids isn't easy. But the nights got longer. The hangovers got worse. And the attitude started changing. She'd come home laughing about new bars, new drinks, new guys her friends were dating. She scroll through photos of them at rooftop parties while I packed school lunches. One night she said, "Jake, you should come with us next time." I laughed. I thought she was joking. She was. She wanted me to get a babysitter so we could go clubbing on a Tuesday. I reminded her we had work and kids. She rolled her eyes. "You've become so old," she said. "Do you even remember what fun feels like?" I told her my fun was different now. Watching Ella's soccer games. Building forts with Noah. Cooking dinner together without someone crying over chicken nuggets. She didn't understand. She said I was using the kids as an excuse to be lazy. That one hurt. After that, it was argument after argument. Every weekend she found a new event. Some concert. Some festival. Some trendy restaurant her yoga friends loved. And every time I said no, she said I was killing her spirit. She started dressing different. Tighter clothes. More makeup. Less time with the kids. She took more selfies in 1 month than she had in our entire marriage. Her friends cheered her on. They said she was glowing. They said she finally looked alive. But at home, she barely looked at me. She barely looked at our children. I tried to talk to her about balance. About how maybe we could plan a date night without going wild. She said I was controlling. Said I didn't want her to have fun. I told her I just wanted her to come home before sunrise. She laughed like that was the funniest thing she'd ever heard. One night, she came in at 3 in the morning. Perfume heavy. Eyes glazed. I was sitting on the couch waiting. She looked at me like I was the problem. "You're always waiting," she said. "Always watching. It's exhausting." That night, something cracked inside me. Not from anger, but from clarity. I realized I wasn't fighting a phase. I was losing my wife to fantasy. A fantasy where being young again mattered more than being loved. And I couldn't compete with that. Not with logic. Not with loyalty. Not even with love. Because she didn't want a husband anymore. She wanted a ticket back to 21. And I couldn't give her that. Then came Ryan. He was 28, a bartender at some trendy downtown lounge. The kind of guy who spoke in quotes he didn't understand. He had tattoos, a perfect tan, and a BMW he couldn't afford. Every story he told started with "last night" and ended with "you had to be there." Amanda met him through one of her yoga friends. At first, she said he was just fun to talk to. Then she started saying his name a lot. "Ryan said this. Ryan thinks that. Ryan knows a DJ at this new place." I knew that tone. It was admiration disguised as casual talk. The same tone she used to have when she talked about me in college. Except now, it wasn't about love. It was about excitement. Ryan represented everything she thought she'd lost. Spontaneity. Adventure. Youth. He was a walking fantasy, and she bought every word of it. I met him once. He came by to pick her up for a group thing. He shook my hand like it was an inconvenience. Called me man 3 times in one sentence. I could smell the cologne and arrogance from a mile away. After that night, she started staying out later. Her laughter changed. It wasn't warm anymore. It was loud, forced, like she was trying to prove something. She said Ryan made her feel alive again. I said her kids made her alive already. She said I didn't get it. And maybe I didn't. Because I was too busy being responsible. Too busy thinking about our mortgage instead of the next bar. Thanksgiving was the breaking point. I was in the kitchen, elbows deep in turkey brine, when she came out dressed like she was 21 again. Tight dress. Heels. Perfume I hadn't smelled in years. Where are you going? I asked. Out. Ryan knows the owner of this new place. We're on the list. I reminded her that my parents were coming the next day. That the kids wanted her to help decorate the table. She just said, "You can handle it. You're good at being boring." That one hit harder than I expected. Because she meant it. She didn't even see the cruelty in her words. I stood there with the smell of garlic and rosemary in the air, realizing my marriage was slipping away over a guest list. She left that night without looking back. Came home at 4 a.m. Slept through Thanksgiving. Missed the kids' excitement when they showed their drawings. That night, I slept on the couch. Not out of anger, but because I didn't know what to say anymore. How do you fight someone who's chasing a dream version of themselves? You can't. A week later, she said she needed space. 2 weeks after that, she filed for divorce. Said she wanted to find herself. But I think she already had. She found herself in Ryan's reflection. And I was just the shadow she needed to escape from. The divorce came fast. No yelling, no begging, no long talks about what went wrong. She had already made up her mind. Amanda said she still loved me, but wasn't in love anymore. Said she needed to find herself before it was too late. I asked what that even meant. She said she didn't know yet, but she'd figure it out. 2 weeks later, I was packing boxes in silence. Ella drew pictures for my new apartment. Noah cried because he didn't understand why Daddy couldn't stay. Amanda stood by the door, arms crossed, pretending not to care. She already had Ryan waiting. He moved into our house before my boxes were unpacked. The same walls that held our wedding photos now held his clothes. Our kids' laughter echoed through rooms that didn't feel like home anymore. They called me from her phone asking if I'd come visit. I told them I'd see them soon. I had to make the lie sound soft. She got the house. I paid half the mortgage because the kids needed stability. I moved into a small 2-bedroom near work. It was quiet. Too quiet at first, but peaceful in a way I hadn't felt in years. No music blasting at midnight. No perfume covering guilt. Just the hum of my computer and the soft breathing of my children on weeknights. Amanda, meanwhile, was living her new life loudly. Her social media became a highlight reel of cocktails, beaches, and smiles. Always with Ryan in the background, always grinning. She posted quotes about self-love and independence, about leaving negativity behind. I guess I was the negativity. Her friends commented with heart emojis and fire symbols. "Yes, Queen," they wrote. Living your best life. Except her best life never included the kids. Every time I picked them up, they were exhausted. They said Mommy slept a lot. That Ryan played video games all day. That they stayed at Grandma's most weekends because Mommy was busy. I listened quietly, biting my tongue. I didn't want them to see her through my eyes. I wanted them to keep their version of her. The one who used to make pancakes shaped like hearts. The one who read bedtime stories in silly voices. But even they could tell something was off. Ella asked me once, "Does Mommy like Ryan more than us?" I didn't know what to say. I told her Mommy was just confused. That adults sometimes make choices they don't understand. The truth was simpler. Amanda was chasing a feeling, not a future. And feelings fade faster than promises. I focused on work, on my kids, on rebuilding from the inside out. Every night I went to bed early. Every morning I woke up calm. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. Not because I lost her, but because I finally stopped trying to keep someone who didn't want to stay. The cracks started to show faster than I expected. 3 months after the divorce, Amanda called me crying. Ryan had borrowed her credit card for an emergency. He maxed it out buying DJ equipment for his new career. She asked if I could cover her half of the mortgage. I told her no. She said I was heartless. I said it sounded like a Ryan problem. That was the first of many late-night calls. Month 4, Ryan wrecked her car while texting. He wasn't even on her insurance. She begged me to help with the deductible. I reminded her I was the boring guy who saved money instead of chasing excitement. She hung up. Month 5, Ryan's ex showed up screaming outside her house. Apparently, he owed her rent money and had stolen her PlayStation. The police came. Ella called me crying. Said she was scared because people were yelling. I filed for emergency custody the next morning. The judge agreed it was safer for them to stay with me full time. Amanda didn't fight it. Maybe she couldn't. Maybe she was just too tired, pretending her life was fine. By month 6, her job started slipping. Too many missed days. Too many hangovers. She got a warning from her boss. Then she called me again, said she needed to focus on work. Could I take the kids more often? I said yes. Not for her. For them. They needed peace. They needed sleep. They needed breakfast that didn't come from a drive-thru. Meanwhile, Ryan quit his job to focus on his podcast. He talked about mindfulness and living in the moment. He had 12 listeners. One of them was his mom. Amanda paid for everything: rent, food, even his online life coach. Her savings vanished in months. She looked thinner every time I saw her. The sparkle she chased turned into shadows under her eyes. Month 8, she showed up at my apartment at midnight. Crying. Shaking. Said Ryan cheated on her with a hostess from his old bar. That he'd been stealing from her. Cash. Jewelry. Even credit cards. Her house was in foreclosure. Her credit ruined. She said she needed help. I made her coffee and listened. She said she wanted to come home. I told her she didn't have a home with me anymore. She made her choice. And now she had to live with it. I offered to keep the kids full-time. She agreed through tears. 2 weeks later, Ryan disappeared. Blocked her on everything. Moved in with the new girl. Amanda had nothing left. No house, no money, no pride. She moved back in with her parents at 35. And I stayed in the same boring life she threw away. Only now, it felt like peace instead of punishment. Life slowly started to feel normal again. The noise was gone. The chaos faded. I bought back our old house from the bank for half the price. It felt strange walking through those halls again. The walls were empty, but the memories were still there. The kids ran to their old rooms and smiled for the first time in months. It finally felt like home again, even if the family looked different now. I focused on work and on being the kind of father they could depend on. No drama. No broken promises. Just quiet mornings and warm dinners. The promotion I got before the divorce turned into another one 6 months later. My boss said I seemed sharper. I guess peace looks good on people. I stopped checking Amanda's social media. Stopped wondering what she was doing. Stopped caring. That's when I met Lisa. We met at a tech conference out of town. She was 37, calm, kind, and real. No filters. No drama. She had a daughter named Mia, 7 years old. Divorced for 3 years. Her ex left her for his secretary, so she understood broken promises. We started slow. Coffee first. Then long talks that actually meant something. She didn't care about flashy things. She got excited over grocery sales and lazy Sundays. She loved family dinners, board games, and quiet walks. The kids loved her instantly. Ella said Lisa reminded her of how Mommy used to be. That one hurt a little, but it was true. Lisa was gentle but strong, firm but kind. She never tried to replace anyone. She just showed up and stayed. No pretending. No performance. For the first time, I wasn't walking on eggshells in my own home. Lisa and I built something real. Something steady. Something that didn't need to be photographed to exist. Amanda saw the change. When she came to pick up the kids, she saw Lisa's car in the driveway. Saw the vegetable garden we planted together. Saw the bikes lined up by the garage. She didn't say much, but her eyes did. She knew this was the life she threw away. The one she thought was boring. Now it looked like peace. She texted me that night. Said she was happy I'd found someone. Said she missed our family. Then, hours later, another message. I missed the boring life. It wasn't boring, it was safe. I didn't answer. Because I finally understood something. You can't build peace with someone who needs noise to feel alive. And sometimes losing chaos is how you start living again. The kids laughed more. The house stayed warm. And the silence that used to hurt now felt like freedom. Amanda started showing up more often. At first, it seemed harmless. She'd drop off the kids early or bring them home late. Then came the gifts. New iPads, sneakers, designer jackets, even a phone for Ella. She said the kids deserved nice things. I told her they needed time, not stuff. She said I was controlling, just like before. I could see what she was doing. Trying to buy back their love. Trying to make them forget she'd left. The kids were polite but distant. They loved her, but they didn't trust her promises anymore. Then one Friday afternoon, she showed up at my office. Full makeup. Tight dress. Carrying a plastic container I recognized from our old kitchen. I made your favorite, she said, smiling too brightly. Chicken parmesan. Remember. Everyone in the office stopped pretending not to look. My coworker Dave mouthed, "What is happening?" from his desk. I walked her outside before she made a scene. She started crying in the parking lot. Said she just wanted to remind me of what we used to have. Said she could be better this time. I told her she couldn't just show up like this. That we had boundaries now. She said, "Is it because of Lisa?" I said, "It's because of choices." She tried to kiss me. I stepped back so fast I almost tripped. The look on her face turned from sadness to anger. "She's not even that pretty," she said. And there it was. The real Amanda. Still shallow. Still mean when she didn't get her way. I told her Lisa was beautiful because she was kind. Because she stayed. Because she didn't run when life got quiet. Amanda didn't like that answer. She stormed off, leaving the food on the curb. I threw it away on my way back in. The office gossip lasted weeks. People whispered. Some felt sorry for her. Some thought I was cruel. But none of them knew the whole story. A few weeks later, she changed her tactic. Started telling people I was keeping the kids from her. That I was poisoning them against her. Her old yoga friends popped up online, calling me a narcissist. I had to get my lawyer involved again. He sent them the custody papers. The messages where Amanda begged me to take the kids because she was busy. The lies stopped after that, but the damage lingered. Some parents at school started whispering. A few playdates disappeared. Lisa told me to let it go. Said people would see the truth eventually. And she was right. Because Amanda couldn't keep the act up. 2 months later, she lost another job. Caught using her employee discount for old friends. She called crying again. Said she couldn't pay rent. Asked if she could stay in my garage. Not the house. Just the garage. I didn't respond. Because sometimes silence is the only answer left. Amanda still texts sometimes. Always late at night. always after a few drinks. Long messages about regret and second chances, about how she finally understands what really mattered. She says she misses our family. She misses the peace she once called boring. But I don't answer anymore. The kids have grown stronger. Ella's grades are perfect. Noah laughs again, without hesitation. Lisa and I are steady, quiet, real. We built something Amanda only pretended to want. When she comes to pick up the kids, she sees it. The garden. The laughter. The calm. She stands there like a ghost, watching a life that used to be hers. I feel sorry for her, but not enough to open the door again. Because I finally learned peace isn't something you beg for. It's something you protect. She once said I was dead inside. But I've never felt more alive. This life, simple, predictable, steady, is mine. And if that makes me boring, then boring is beautiful.